If you want to turn your law firm into a sales machine, I've got a nice video for you. I want to share with you a few tips, a few hacks, a few techniques to really make it happen, to make sure the monetization of your law firm actually is something real, is something concrete, okay? It's important to understand that if you are a lawyer, you want to get well paid. You want to be well paid. The reason is that, first of all, you want to be in a position where you can better serve your clients. Number one. Number two, you want to take care of your family. Of course, you want to put food on the table for your family. And number three, you want to be in a position to scale. You got to generate extra revenue to be able to reinvest into your into your practice. Okay, so it's important to really generate a revenue on a consistent basis. It's important to turn your law firm into a sales machine, and you got to do this in a consistent manner. And the reason why you want to do it in a consistent manner is because in any business, every business, there are ups and downs. There are situations where your law firm will have some kind of a dry spell because competition is too tough, or because clients are not coming, or just because they've changed the authorities have changed the regulation, they've changed the law, right? So you got to have a system in place that allows you to actually turn your law firm revenue on autopilot. If you have it on autopilot, then you're pretty sure that no matter what, you'll be able to generate some stable revenue. Okay. One thing you need to understand here is that if you want to turn your law firm into a sales machine, you got to improve the decision-making process. Don't really make decision-making too long to happen. So if you're a solo practice, no problem. You're a one-person operation, no problem. But if you have a team, if you have a small team, if you have a large team, make sure decision making happens real fast. Okay, you want to cut as many layers as possible in the decision making process so that your org chart is pretty flat. It doesn't have to be flat, but at least it is smooth. It actually helps your team, and it helps you also make decisions faster. Number two, you gotta understand that your team's resilience has to be increased. The reason is that stuff will happen once again, but if you want to turn your law firm into a sales machine, you got to have a resilient team. Resilience in terms of operations, resilience in terms of matters like legal matters that the team has to deal with, resilience in terms of onboarding new clients. Onboarding, I mean, from lead qualification to lead management to client onboarding. That has to be your team has to be resilient. Your team has to understand how to make things happen faster. Also, you want to enhance relationships. What I mean by that is if you want to turn your law firm into a sales machine, you have to enhance relationships across the board, from your fellow lawyers, from other lawyers, all the way to judges, all the way to other professionals, not necessarily in your niche, but professionals with which you believe that you have some kind of affiliation, professional affiliation. For example, if you are an estate lawyer, if you do estate planning, you want to really get together. You want to get to know CPAs, other financial advisors, for instance. Okay, tax lawyers, other tax attorneys, for instance, that you can actually share data with. Okay, you actually refer clients to them, and they refer clients back to you. So you have to enhance your relationships. You also want to really think about greater productivity. If you want to turn your law firm into a sales machine, think about productivity, because productivity at the end of the day will actually impact your revenue big time. If you want to make more money, you have to learn how to be more productive. You have to think about ways to cut layers, what I call lethargic layers that are really like inefficient layers. Okay, and so you also want to think about personal fulfillment. What I mean by that is that you got to look at work-life balance for your staff. If you want to turn your law firm into a sales machine, your staff has to become quite essential in your decision-making process. So the personal fulfillment, the personal well-being of your staff members has to become so important that you have to put it as a central ethos, as an ethos in your firm. Okay, so those are important elements when it comes to well-being. So if you want to turn your law firm into a sales machine, the first thing you need to pay attention to is the well-being of your lawyers. The well-being of your lawyers. Now, one thing for sure, if you want to turn your law firm into a sales machine, you need to understand that the well being that you're getting for your lawyers, you need to apply that to business development. Okay. And that's important because there are ways to make sure you can really replicate that well being at the personal level. You can replicate that well being to the business level so that you are expanding your business, you're expanding your practice, you're getting new clients, you're winning more cases. You are actually you become the favorite of courts. Like judges love you, judges love the way you handle cases. Okay, and it's important to understand that if you want to get to that level, you want to prioritize self care in terms of the cases you take on, self care in terms of the clients you work with and how you work with them, how you take care of your people, okay, how you take care of yourself, also how you take care of senior management, I would say partners, okay, senior associates, all that kind of stuff. You need to understand that this is going to help you big time. It's going to help you turn your law firm into a sales machine. People will think, well, wow, why is this lawyer so successful? Well, it's because you're applying a few techniques. You need to also develop emotional intelligence. And this is something that lawyers don't really talk about that much. Like, people talk about, yeah, I need to win more cases. I need to increase the number of my billable hours, all that kind of stuff. Okay, that makes sense. You need to increase your billable hours. Okay. But what about your emotional intelligence? What about your ability to understand that, hey, listen, this is a bad deal for my firm or this is a good deal for my firm? This requires an extra layer of intelligence. And I call that emotional intelligence. Okay. And lawyers don't usually don't like to talk about emotions, but that doesn't mean that they can't avoid them, right? Emotions are an inevitable, unavoidable part of our human experience, and we all have emotions. I do, you do, and we deal with others who are also having their own feelings. Let's say in a simultaneous way. So you gotta learn how to control those elements in your psychology. You also need to build authentic relationships. If you want to turn your law firm into a sales machine, you want to really look at relationships that might take years to actually cultivate, years to nurture, years to actually get fruitful. It's okay because the more authentic the relationship, the better. You do not want to have superficial relationships. You want relationships that are so deep you can leverage them over and over and over and over and over again. That's what you want. Also, if you want to turn your law firm into a sales machine, you want to really also look at your own network. And what I mean by that is we all have networks, okay? Whether at the professional level or at the family level or at the social level, at the whatever. So you want to leverage your network. So no matter the legal niche you're in, whether you're a criminal defense lawyer, you are an estate planning lawyer, you are a business lawyer, whatever, you know people who actually could actually be interested in the kind of services you are offering. So a strong network becomes a key asset in business development. So if you want to turn your law firm into a sales machine, your network is going to help you big time. So use your well-being and emotional intelligence to nurture relationships, which also can increase your social well-being. You want to offer help and support to others, right? It's all about karma. I really believe that. You might be thinking, well, all your transactions must be quantifiable, must be monetizable, but no, sometimes it pays off to actually help others. Okay, sometimes, I do believe that it always pays off to help others, not just sometimes, always pays off to help others. But if you are running a small practice, you're not running a philanthropy, so you can't really just go around and just offer, sorry about that, offer pro bono services. No, You got to really charge sometimes, but when it does make sense, you want to offer help and support to others. Okay. And by the way, don't be afraid to make direct asks when you need assistance or referrals. Ask how people are doing and actively listen to their responses. That's called active listening. Okay. You want to listen for real. And that way, you are able to get to know and serve them better. And you also are able to build a connection between you and your interlocutor that supports your well-being and theirs as well. You also want to maintain a healthy work-life integration. This is something important if you want to turn your law firm into a sales machine. Remember that everything starts from you. If you're well balanced, if your personal life is pretty clean, that's going to reflect on the business side of things. Okay, this is important. So what you want to do is you want to set boundaries and manage your time effectively to maintain a healthy balance. Okay, so that you can prevent burnout and keep you motivated in the long run. So if you want to turn your law firm into a sales machine, I also want you to think about the connection, the nexus between emotional intelligence and business development. This is important because emotional intelligence is the ability to understand and manage your own emotions and those of others. And even like back in the days, like big philosophers seem to show a deep under, understanding of emotional intelligence. Okay, so this is important. And one thing I want you to understand here also is that you are actually what you are thinking. So the more positive you think, the better it is for you. Okay, so if you want to turn your law firm into a sales machine, think about self-awareness. This means that you have an ability to recognize and understand your own emotions and their impacts on your behavior and thoughts. So when you have self-awareness, for instance, you can accurately name your emotions without really without being out of context. Okay, and you can use specific words. Okay, and to achieve self-awareness, you have to do a few things that will be too much for me to really list here, but they actually involve practicing mindfulness, pausing for reflection, or otherwise practicing naming your emotion and determining the intensity, okay, of it. You also have self-management. So if you want to turn your law firm into a sales machine, self-management plays an important role. And self-management just means that you want to right size at the right time. Right size at your personal level, but also right size at the firm level. It's all about making sure that you have enough resources to survive in the long run. If you want to turn your law firm into a sales machine, you want to really also invest a little bit, or at least expand your level or your skill set when it comes to social awareness and relationship management. So because relationship management just means, oh, you got you got the deal, right? You got a client. How do you manage it? How do you create a win-win situation? How do you make sure that they're happy, you're happy too? It has to go hand in hands. If it doesn't go hand in hands, then you can't do anything. Okay, so relationship management becomes really important. So when I say relationship management, here I'm speaking about your ability to build and maintain healthy relationships. So, and this has to go through clear communication, conflict resolution, and the ability to inspire and influence others. Okay, otherwise you can't do anything. And so, in the legal profession, this is essential to actually have. If you want to have teamwork, for example, client relations and negotiations. Okay, once you have empathized with someone and their needs, and if you know their needs or point of view, you can use thoughtful and intentional actions and reactions to move things forward in a positive direction. That's what I said earlier when I said win-win situation, right? So you want to have a win-win situation here. What about social awareness? Well, social awareness actually is the ability to empathize with others and understand social dynamics. It's really about recognizing the emotions of others and responding appropriately, okay? And this has to go through a few things that you can practice, by the way. You can practice personally or you can practice with it within your firm. So, active listening, for instance, you want to observe nonverbal cues. Okay, if you want to develop your social awareness skill set, think about those two for a minute. So, the goal with social awareness or empathy is to accurately determine what the other person is feeling and, ideally, what they need in a given situation. So, once you know that, you can determine the best way to respond. So, if you want to really turn your law firm into a sales machine, you gotta understand that you need to apply emotional intelligence to business development and client service. And here I'm speaking about client retention. I'm speaking about pitching for a new business. I'm speaking about negotiation. I'm speaking about networking, because those elements are going to help you big time in terms of scaling. That's what you want. If you want to turn your law firm into a sales machine, directly or indirectly, you are speaking about scaling. So, when it comes to scaling, the first thing you need to pay attention to is client retention. So, if you're able to understand and manage your emotions and those of your clients, you can build stronger, more trusting relationships, which are really key to retaining your current clients and getting repeat business and referrals. And that's what you want, because you want to be in a situation where you just having a you're having a great rapport with a few clients. They are paying you over and over and over. You also want to think about networking. So, emotional intelligence skills like empathy and social awareness help you navigate networking clients more effectively, allowing you to connect with potential clients and referral sources on a deeper level. That's what you want, on a deeper level. And also, when it comes to pitching for a new business, your self awareness and self management skills actually ensure that you present yourself confidently and authentically, while your social awareness and relationship management skills help you tailor your pitch to the client's specific needs and concerns. What about negotiations? Well, in negotiations, EQ, emotional intelligence, is crucial for understanding the emotional dynamics at play, managing your own emotions, and influencing the emotions of others to achieve a favorable outcome. And that's what you want. You want to really get to a situation where you can really gather more data to get things done the way you think will be favorable to your law firm. So the takeaway here is, in today's conversation, I gave you a few steps that turn your law firm into a sales machine. Thank you so much. I'll see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.